Welcome to the essence. Sit back, relax, vibe me. Slides by choice. You know? Yeah, yo, I hit the world with the change up. Now I'm chillin' like Kirk Schilling when it's time to raise the stakes up. My banks, money, makeup. Big D's is back like Jordan, just to come to change the game up. Teddy Pete with my wake up, precise like electric scales. When the KB flake up, monotony break up. Lick the board up one roll like it was a whole chunk breaker. Swing or get swung on, dug or get dug on, play or get played on, fade or get fade on. I'm from West Coast, so it's known as the dope. Hot topics plus melodics make a back dance flow. From nothing to this, a playlist, state of bliss, spit in them and I like to chip with remix. Vision is like jumping off with me. Street after play, shake, play. Just slide now, tell me. You're feeling that vibe, come on. It's popping off, change. Trying to make the vibe just ring. Tell me, can you be real with that? This is the maze of a soulful blaze, and these keep hands raised like it was a song of praise. It's on for days, and the nights is even better, cause the sun always shines in storm weather. It's for a heavy yellow resident. Present the past, slow or fast is the voice that I represent. Vibe makes it evident. In the Midwest, status of course makes it even more relevant. Rap games through the sky, highlights out the box. Word breaks out of bodies like a case of the speaker's box. From the meanest blocks to jazz and reefer spots, dance clubs, beauty shops, beside the halls and truck stops. Believe it or not, this whole moment's a glam shot. Duke your cats, cause the shit'll get off the pot. Little voice in my head, so show 'em what you got. Take 16 bars and put the game on lock. Jumping off with me. Street after play, shake, play. Just slide now, tell me, you feeling that vibe? Come on. It's popping off, change. Trying to make the vibe just ring. Tell me, can you be real with that? The game goes back and forth, and teams bring order like cases in just Baptist court. I rise to sport, you know. And a 10 plus rap rating means I got dime support. I hold the fort, get too deep to abort. Now Taylor's getting older, I ain't coming up short. Now we bust till we break bones, cause it's the future riding on what I spit in microphone. My voice bouncing off the time zones. Sizzle trying to be your more listeners' ears than dial tones. Reception is crystal clear, especially with a gap of longevity beyond a year. It's all real, I'm on a master plan. In that, build your squad around me like I'm Elton Brand. Put up 20 and 10, cause I'm a grown man. Plus the vibe is love, like an Nazi caravan. Jumping off with me. Street after play, shake, play. Just slide now, tell me, can you feeling that vibe? Come on. It's popping off, change. Trying to make the vibe just ring. Tell me, can you be real with that vibe? It's jumping off with me. Street after play, shake, play. Just slide now, tell me, can you feeling that vibe? Just popping off, change. Trying to make the vibe just ring. Tell me, can you be real with that vibe? Just vibe with me. Vibe. Just vibe with me. Just vibe with me. Yeah. Just vibe with me. Just vibe.
I know y'all not gonna like what I gotta say, but I'm gonna say this anyways. That was supposed to normalize in the Black community. There's an ugly mentality that a lot of y'all have. Not everybody, but but a good majority of y'all, and it's from the accountability of the men, they trifling ways, or the neglect that they have placed on these kids too, because it takes two to make them. But for the ones y'all that do this, y'all weaponize y'all kids because you view them as punishments. Everybody got to pitch in and be feeling guilty about the fact that you sat there and had a baby that you knew you couldn't take care of. On top of the fact that every man you date got to come in and right your wrong. You want to guilt him into being a stepfather, but at the same time, you can take making him feel bad about that. You can take giving that to the real daddy, and y'all keep the real daddy away from them, making them fight for their kids, and inadvertently talking about how they couldn't do it. How do you have you in custody? But y'all got a problem with relinquishing power just because you want to keep some form of control because your feelings got hurt. And y'all try to always make these kids feel bad and plant in their head the wrong things about their daddy because he wasn't your man or he didn't know how to be your man accordingly, and you still ain't moved on. Junior 12, fixing all these generational curses, but y'all really just creating news on the basis of the ones that we already got. While you trying to sit there and repair them, you're inadvertently creating a very antisocial and individualistic society that knows how to only victimize themselves because they can't see any wrong or be held accountable. We were supposed to tell these young girls not to fall down the rabbit hole, not make them feel like this is normal and this okay, go ahead and have a baby, and then leave them as soon as they become a parent.
Now don't call it a comeback. I'm thinking back on that real rap. But try to ask, can I kick it? It was all that. Before trapping and drilling, it was on the flow though. Southern player, listen to Q banging out a solo. MTV Raps, Dr. Dre, your Ned Lover. Peter CL, Lace Mecca, and the Soul Brother. True school meant the world to me. On that Greg N-I-C-E. Bravado all in our zone. Digging diggable on that blowout comb. Salt and pepper, delight the brat to conscious daughters. And Red Man had me gone off of muddy waters. Reasonable doubt would take me so high. Like when AZ hit off that dough or die. Just another uptown Saturday night like M Low. If you don't know, now you know. So big. I'm thinking back. 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 I'm thinking back.
If I was to take you back with me, would you be okay with going after me? Could you keep it going like a battery? I'm just playing, okay, I'ma stay in my lane. But I'm saying if it don't feel like the 90s, I don't want it. Took a vow and I'm keeping to my promise. I'm a purist in the highest sense. You want that old thing back, but in the present tense, I represent something that they ain't never seen. Microphone fame, but in the form of a queen. I'm not your average, and I don't mean to sound like a savage. But if lyrics don't matter, then how the hell can I manage to mesmerize with just the tick of my thighs, green in my eyes, just the sound of my voice became people's choice? Do you remember the times? Was killing shit every night, catching vibes, couldn't afford to catch a flight. We had cruise upon cruise in this city, bumping out on shit while we cruising the city. I take pity if you missed the golden era here when we was bringing that organic flavor to your ear. Yeah.
Thinking back. I'm thinking back. Real. Bringing back. Mama say, mama sigh, mama maku sigh. That wanna be something that starts right now. This country is divided, the have-nots are slided. That's why I gotta speak up to get the wrongs righted. My word is all I got, so that's all I give. I'm from the worst place for black folks to live. It's plenty racial troubles for a hoe that's dug. Like if you don't go to UW, then you get no love. The homeless crying out, there's no space for us. My race don't come downtown, there's no place for us. It's limited options for a face like us. We all supposed to be equal, not the case for us. When quotas gotta get filled, there's a chase for us. Census dollar signs in every cage for us. The unfair advantage, it amazes us. It'll make you cheap to paint away, blaze with us.
Tell me what is going on.
Hey yo, can you tell me?
What is going on? Oh, tell me what is going on. What is going on? What is going on?
Yo, welcome to the Midwest. Factory's gone, I swear it's such a hot mess. You ain't tech savvy, then you just stress. To add to the fact that so many are oppressed. It ain't no wonder why so many are depressed. You can't be progressive when there's no progress. Progression here is minimal at best. It's enough to keep you under like you under arrest. Seem like a come up for all is never addressed. The leader of this country, yo, I'm not impressed. Cause why it seem in blatant hate and vest. That's why these bars now are my way to protest. Which way will it go, yo, I don't know. Almost like nobody don't love no more. All the lies in the seat, yo, they got to go. Mr. Apprentice should be fired from this TV show.
Tell me what is going on.
Hey yo, can you tell me?
What is going on? Hey, tell me what is going on. What is going on? What is going on?
Now which way do we lean? Do the right thing, radio Raheem. Either push for love or there's a push for hate. With so many open places, it ain't open for debate. Those that got the bread claim it's never enough. But those without it are the folks that got it rough. Regard for one another is how we get done. Now chant go back to where they came from. But the they is the us cause we are here. All the divide talk is based out of fear. Let's not pretend what message does it send. With some spouting off words that offend. The greedy type of games broken down to classes. Most mass shooters don't look like my masses. No time for us to discuss. What special interest groups rarely interest us. Man.
We are the Real Bravado Network, and we address black relationships from an image perspective. Image impacts and influences your life and life experiences. It also determines how you are treated and influence how people interact with you. Image is the reputation that you are known for, which includes your behaviors, your character, and your appearance. There's nothing more damaged than the image of the black man in America. The Real Bravado Network's next phase of development with our live stream, Have the Conversation, will focus on his image. The Real Bravado Network will be asking, how can a black man be a leader of his community and home when the vast majority of black men have never been led? Leadership is taught and a skill that needs coaching, development, and refinement. Over the next few months, we will complete a forensic examination of his image. Please join the Real Bravado Network on YouTube, but we dare to be the bold, not silent.
She might not caramel with an honest smile. Feather earrings in with a fly hairstyle. Play her status, professional on lock, but on the weekend, like to show the black girls ride. She eat like Sunday morning, this is good as it gets. Whether in a dress or heels or she in chucks and sweats. Ghetto girl going good, that's the reason I love her. At the gym 5 times a week to get in, her tough mother. Word to Jeffrey Osborne, this is my love ballad. LTD encouraged me, got me munching on salad. And she even got me backing off the dude. I don't know about you, but that's what the real wanna do. She don't like my late nights, but she respect my hustle. Put my head to her chest when she seeing the struggle. I know I'm blessed, they don't make many like her. She get a princess, man, I think I might wife her.
My breath, my heart is all beauty, but it's so much more. She my destiny.
She got the best,
she bring the best to me.
she got the best, she
No need to wait another day when it's this way. I know she was sent here to rescue me.
She got the best,
Cause she was just too late.
she got the best. I know it's a lot to deal with me. I love on how she keep it real with me. Cause it's a lot of thoughts to do what I say so. But she simply shake her head and she be like, no. I love her physical, respect her mental. Fact, she's so spiritual, ain't coincidental. And now we both got our feet on soil. I can't do nothing but thank the Lord we living as royals. I remember being a big dude with small seeds. She helped me stretch it out and turn it into huge dreams. Thelma Evans, good, swear she my best friend. When my pockets tight, she give the card to the ATM. I love when we're alone, she give me selfie poses. I tell her I appreciate her and she dig it more than roses. If Eve came from Adam, then she my rib. I've been waiting for a good one, let's have some kids.
My breath, my heart is all beauty, but it's so much more. She my destiny.
She got that last,
She bring the best to me.
She got that last, she lets
No need to wait another day when it's this way. I swear she was here to rescue me.
She got that last, she lets others like. She got that last, others.
She took my breath, my love, my heart and soul. Her beauty, but it's so much more. She my destiny.
She got that last,
She bring the best to me.
she got that last, she lets
No
others
need to
like.
wait another day when it's this way. I know she was sent here to rescue me.
She got that last,
She bring it just to
like. She got that last,
She took my breath, my mind, my heart and soul. My beauty, but it's so much more. She my destiny.
She got that last,
She bring the best to me.
She got that last, she lets
No need to wait another day when it's this way. I swear she was sent here to rescue me.
She got that last,
She bring it just to me.
She got that last,
I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win, every day I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win, every day I get it in. I'm a king and I will never kneel. plotting for my fall. You getting hanged for treason. I don't aim to please, do anything I feel. Haters gonna talk, don't listen to the shit. They tryna be like me, they know they can do. Can't even get loose. I'm on a pedestal, sitting on my throne. My neck be decked in gold. I don't do no hoes, I've got a queen though. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play it, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play it, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king, I told you guys before. Ready for the war, to get me way much more. Gather all these spoils, add them to my kingdom. Shout out to my fans for pledging your allegiance. You get a reward, the best flow you've ever heard. I don't be mixing with birds, I'm a lion on the surge. Always pushing to the edge, facing arrows, never scared. For my greatness I'm a servant, only under myself. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play it, I just win every day, I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play it, I just win every day, I get it in.
But I'm none of my songs dancing like make it look good or nothing like that. Hey, we are the Real Bravado Network, and this is Have the Conversation. We talk about Black relationship from an image perspective. My name is Tavares. And so we're going to get right down to business today. We got an interesting stream ahead of us. Look, I know, let me be very clear. I'm a huge advocate, especially for our Black men and our Black women. And sometimes the way I present my topics, you know, the ladies don't think I'm an advocate for them. And recently some of the guys have been questioning me because of the way I've been asking stuff. But trust and believe, I have become extremely passionate about what's going on with us. And I'm excited. We got the Good Guy Experience podcast with us tonight. I'm excited about that. You cannot build a community without collaboration. Every other group in this country, every other culture, they collaborate. That's why they build their army. They didn't even got to like each other, but they got an army of them. And I'm over here trying to build an army, and I hope every other content creator out there on some level feels that way. Okay. All right. Let's just get rolling. You know, most of my life, you know, I walked around kind of in the dark, but I thought I could see the sun, but I was walking around in the dark. And I really didn't put much stock into anything related to image, really up until the last few years and an emergence of, you know, other content creators when I found this kind of work. I kind of viewed image as kind of this abstract thing, this superficial thing that people with no substance cared about. I thought it was all about, you know, I'm worried about how people view me. And I looked at that as a very negative thing. But as I evolved, I began to realize just how short-sighted that was. And in that image is a bit more, it's more important than just some superficial notion that can't nobody see me with a blemish. Image is just more than about perspective. We're going to kind of get into it a little bit. And when you take image very seriously, there's nothing superficial about it. And the main point about the image is that it literally focuses on your reputation. And right now, when I say we, I mean Black men and Black women. And we are locked into this cycle right now of blaming each other exclusively for the state of our Black community right now. And yes, there are issues with each camp that are profoundly, hurting and hindering us. Okay, but we just can't keep shooting. But what we do over here is we examine those issues, not to blame, but to point out and then hopefully reach a heart or two and get them to start to understand that maybe their perspective, the way that they behave, the way that they interact with, especially your Black counterpart, that maybe we might need to do something a little bit differently. If you look around, the name of the stream today is called Black Men, Are We Winning, Losing, or Are We Weak? When you look around, Black lexicon, can you honestly say that we're winning? So we're going to talk about that. So Black men, can y'all hear me? I have a question, because we're going to get rolling right into it, okay? I have a question. Are we winning, losing, or weak? Or weak, not leak, or weak. That's the last question that I want answered by the end of the stream. We're not going to answer that right away. We're going to get into some stuff, but I want that to answer by the end of the stream. But before I launch, let me make this perfectly clear one more time, because it might not seem that way during the stream. I'm 100% an advocate for Black men's growth, development, and excellence. But there are some issues that need to be dealt with straight, no chaser. Okay. So let me set this conversation up for the night. We constantly talk about image on this platform and how important it is to the success of outcomes. There is another aspect of image that I really don't talk about. And we define image as the reputation that a person is known for, which includes your behaviors, your character, and your appearance. But there's one more thing that goes along with that, and that's messaging. What message are you sending by your behaviors, including your decisions? What message are you sending about your character? What message are you sending about your appearance? So before we answer, are Black men winning, losing, or weak, how do Black women impact that very question? What message do Black women send by their behaviors, i.e. their decisions, the character that they display, and their appearance that they offer the average Black man? The concept of image and messaging works hand in hand, okay? Now, Black women in general have openly proclaimed, and I don't get into this. Well, not all this and not all this, or we're not some. In order to tackle stuff, we got to be very general sometimes. But they openly proclaim that they don't need a man. Remember, the majority of Black women describe themselves as strong, whatever that means, independent, and my favorite, they proclaim that men are intimidated by them. Black men are intimidated by them because they got an eyelash business. Okay, if you say so. And before anyone says it's not true, according to blackdemographics.com, and I get run over all the time about the fact that I quote stats, but blackdemographics.com, that's information for Black people by Black people about Black people. Okay, Black women only marry Black men at a rate, or any man, at a rate of 25%. So if you look at it this way, 75% of Black women have made the decision that no man, not even a Black man, is worthy into come into cooperation with. That's another way of looking at it. I know how on other platforms they take that information and they say that that because nobody wants you. The other side of it is Black women might not be finding us worthy to submit and come into cooperation with. And we don't look at it from that perspective. But we're going to today, because you got to look, we're going to today, okay? Even if that decision, so they made that decision not to come in cooperation with us, even if that decision wasn't made consciously, it was also probably made by their behaviors. But here's the confusing part. 80% of our Black women have decided to have children with only 18 to 20% of the Black men out here. Meaning Black women collectively had decided to share the same man and have their children. Because 18 to 20% don't spread around evenly amongst 80% of the women. They're sharing. But then in the next breath, our women talk about that they don't like cheaters, but yet you're publicly having kids with another woman's man, but you don't share. This behavior from our Black women are leaving about 52 to 54% of Black men single, childless, and despite the fact that the majority of them earn enough money to be considered middle class. Black women have spoken loud, proud, and clear about Black men. Our women have told the world the message that they've sent to the world. They rather have 80% of their children without a father at home, and they rather procreate with the 18 to 20% of bottom of our men. That's what they've decided. That's the message that they've sent. They've sent the message, whether they were conscious about it or not, that the 54% of Black men that are single, childless, earn enough money to be in the middle class are not worth it. And how do you figure out somebody's worth it? Look at what they're doing. The highest honor a woman can give a man is giving him a baby so his legacy can live through the ages. They've decided the 54% of us are not worth it. That's something to really think about. That's something to think about. So today's subject isn't just about like the choices and decisions that our Black women have made. Today is not about what I just laid out about the choices of our women. Today is not about our women. Today, I use that framework to illustrate some of our women's issues so that we can probably effectively answer the opening question. The multiple issues within our with our Black men, with our Black women, is not the focus of today. The focus is if 54% of Black men are indeed single, are indeed childless, and earn enough money to be considered to be the middle class, how in the world are what's supposed to represent the best of us to a degree? We're not even taking in personality. We're just, on paper, they represent the best of us. How does the 54% of Black men lose out to what the world would consider a bum? How do we do that? How come the majority of us seem to be fine with the messaging from the majority of Black men that you are not, majority of Black women, that you are not worthy of the highest honor? Also, what does that say about our brand of manhood? So I'm about to bring up our guests really quickly because I want to get into some of these questions with them. The 54%, how are we losing out to the to what many consider to be the bottom of us? Okay, so I'll be with you in just a second. Let me get some of our guys up and have a conversation with them. Hey there, fellas. Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. I done set that up like the way I set that up. Y'all not ready to fight me, are y'all?
Hey man, I was trying to figure out how you do that.
Yeah, so that's the question. Welcome. real quick, why don't you guys take a second to go around and introduce yourself? I know you guys, but the audience that's watching or will be watching in the future, you know, they don't know you. So, Frederick, we're gonna start with you.
All right. So, hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Frederick Beatty. I am an author. I am a podcaster, and I'm a blogger. I'm the CEO of Trailblazer Radio, which is a podcast platform. I'm also an author, a poet, and a blogger, y'all. So, first of all, thank you, TJ, for allowing me to be on this platform. And let's get this in, y'all.
Yeah. Go. All right, Hezekiah, you too.
I'm author Hezekiah Morris. I dibble and dabble in everything. Podcasting, magazines, publishing, whatever. But I'm just grateful to be here tonight.
Yep. And this brother made a movie, y'all.
Oh,
he wrote, produced, and he got it made. Believe it or not, you know, a lot of people talk about it. He actually got it made. He actually got it made. Yeah. And Mr. Tyrone, I am so grateful that he's here. This brother, look, well, I'm not gonna do your. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, brother.
Well, I appreciate it. All right, so my name's Tyrone. So I'm an educator, coach, and also part of the podcast, The Good Guy Experience, where we go on, we do like this, we talk about the issues, good, intelligent conversation with some chocolate people, and it's always a good time, you know. So yeah, and man, I'm honored to be here, man. I appreciate you.
Okay, cool. So we got some ladies with us, but we're gonna bring them up later. Okay. We got some ladies with us. We're gonna bring them up in a little bit. But I want to ask my original question. Okay, so you know when you look at blackdemographics.com and they really follow what's going on with us, and they came out with the conclusion that 54% of Black men are single, childless, earn enough money to be in the middle class. And then on those principles alone, those seem to be one would think that those are like the salt of the earth men. They earn enough money to be in the middle class, meaning they earn over $45,000 a year. The average middle class, the average two-family household is 60, I think it's like 66,000. And so the Black man, he earns at least 45 grand a year. That's about 70% of the two-family household. So my question is, if we got such a large pool of fellas out here that should be viable, eligible, how in the world are we losing out to what we affectionately call the Pookies and the Ray Rays? How are we doing that? And I'm opening that up to any one of the brothers out there.
Man. Well, so I don't know. I think, is it the Pookie and the Ray Rays, or is it guys with a little bit more money than the middle class? Because what I'm seeing out in the atmosphere out here is that, you know, they're going for like a little bit higher. They don't want the middle class guy that you gotta go, you know, 50-50 where you gotta work. They want somebody to, you know, a little bit more bread to take care of them. And you know,
but so, they're going for them. They're going for them, but are they getting them?
Yeah, like what I'm seeing. Look at Tristan Thompson from the Cleveland Cavaliers. They know he has money. So now he got all these females trying to get pregnant by him, which they have got pregnant by him. And now he's paying them these lump sums of money. And even though they don't want to be with him, they are financially set now. Now with them, that's basically what they're looking for. They're looking to be financially set. So now they can attend to their goals now.
Yeah,
without having a man in the house.
Yeah, so the mailman, they ain't aiming for the mailman. So and everybody's trying to get drafted, but everybody not going to the league. But the ones who ain't going to the league, they just still holding out hopes. They like that 30-year-old player in the development league saying, I might get called up. And in the meantime, nobody's getting married.
You know, ain't nobody get married, but the fact of the matter is the majority of our women are not having kids with the Tristan Thompsons or the PJ Tuckers of the world. You know, shout out to Brittany Renner. You know, the majority of our women are not having kids by it, because if that's the case, then, you know, we ain't got no problems, you know, because, you know, but the vast majority of our women, they're not out there, you know, giving the highest honor to those kind of guys. Now, yes, our women, you know, recently, I'd say within the last 10 or 15 years, they've all, regardless they got babies or not, been shooting their shot at the top 1% of guys. But yet our women still talk about they want somebody to be faithful, but yet you want to put yourself in a situation where the top earners of our guys win throughout the course of history have the top, dogs of men ever had one woman.
It's rare.
I mean, look at Bill Gates' goofy butt. Little did we know when they filed for divorce, it came when they released a joint statement. This man had a whole side chick for 30 years that his wife approved of.
That's Bill Gates.
Well, before
Bill Gates,
before he was Bill Gates, he was just William,
Yeah.
and Bill Gates. But our women want that top, but they don't want to play the role of the second wife or the third wife or the whatever. They want to be number one with exclusivity, and that's not typically what happens on that level. But 54, I want to kind of bring it back. 80% of our women have kids by 18 to 20% of our men. That's who they have kids by. 54% of black men don't have any children.
Yeah, and too. So I think also what happens, I think a lot of different things happen, but I think a lot of times when they're younger, that's Pookie and Ray Ray time. When you're having fun, they're having fun. It's time, I'm trying to get the back broke, and they doing this thing. Yeah, Pookie, but he'll be all right. And now you got the baby. Then later on, it's like, I gotta do better than this. But
you gotta do better than this. You gotta do better than this. And guess who they come? All of a sudden find those in the 54%, the salt of the earth, the responsible guys who took care of themselves. Now they're looking at them saying, "Oh, maybe I deserve a better man."
Yeah.
And then the 54% is sitting there like,
nope.
Okay, I've been on my hustle and bustle on my grind for almost 20 years, and now you want to come ran through with 4 different dudes' kids, and you want me to accept that?
And you know what, TJ? It's funny you said that because, like, before I became an author, I would get like the little plain Jane. You know how we do on the streets, whatever. Then I became an author. Then it's like, females that I know that wouldn't even mess with me. Now they're like, well, let me see. Let me try to, hey, how are you? They come at me in a different way. And I'm sitting there laughing like, so where was you at when I was doing this and that? You know what I mean? And it's funny because women look for that come up too, just like us men. We look for that come up. We look for it in a different way, but they look at that come up through us.
But here's the thing about hypergamy. What you just described, Hezekiah, is what they call hypergamy. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a woman who want a guy on a certain level, or won't come, or come through when they see you progressing or working on. I mean, you. That's security for her. Her nature is to find security. Point blank in the discussion. So there's no knock or no hustle on a lady for doing that. The problem comes in is when we talk about expectations, or when she brings somebody else's responsibility and put it on your lap and say, you need to do more for his stuff than he has to, and you should be glad to do it because guess what? You got me.
Nah. Hey, but too, so we gonna go back to men. All right. So a lot of times with guys too, now we get, I call them Peter Pan guys. You got the guys who want to stay young and out in the streets forever. And you got your grays, you in the club looking old, women calling you sir, and you still trying, and now you want a family. Now, once you got the men got a little wall too, I think, for average men. Not the rich guy. So you start getting the grays, you gotta play stepdaddy. You wait too long, you're gonna have to get them that. You get stepdaddy time. You get into them 40s, you out here in the streets. So you can't be thumbing your nose up at them now. You gotta prepare your bread for stepdaddy time.
Yeah, one of the things I'm gonna mention later on in my conclusion, and I'll mention this. I've said on Tyrone, I said on other streams that that the 54% of black men that are single and childless, I've always said, Hezekiah and Frederick can vouch for this. I've always said they're going to have to come in and do that. They're going to have to. If we want to, quote unquote, save our community, these 54% of men are going to have to become stepdads. Yeah. That's just if you want a black woman. Because here's the thing: if once a black woman reaches the age of 25, 80% of them have children. And then the ones that are married, they're off the market because they're married. So there's virtually
you got to pay for the young ones.
Yeah, there's virtually no woman available to you. And that's unique to Black culture, that you can be a 40-year-old dude and there's no woman that you can go start a family with. But white culture, that's different. Hispanic culture, that's different. White women, only 30% of their women are baby mamas. 30%. That's really high. That's where we were at in the 1960s, 30%. Yeah. Now we're at 80. So there, and a lot of women sometimes when they hear us around these conversations, they'll be like, well, if you don't want to deal with somebody's kid, then go get a woman without a kid. And that's such a disingenuous statement, because there are none. If you want a black woman, there are no women without. I mean, what you're talking about, a fine sliver of 1% to 2%? Really?
Yeah.
The thing about this though, like you talk about the 54% of black men that are single and childless. If you mention that, like a lot of these women a lot of these guys are gonna have to be stepfathers. The majority of them, and I'm not saying this to kind of be, any other way, but I'm just kind of just looking at something kind of like a little far ahead. The majority of guys ain't gonna want to be stepfathers. So I mean, we could probably cut that number in half.
But then who they gonna get with then?
Get a passport.
Bro, probably. I'm just
a passport. I mean, yeah. There's this whole new movement where they're encouraging black men to get their passports and try to find a woman in another country. Absolutely, but even that number of guys is not that high that are able to do that. Yeah. I mean, what we need to do here. I mean, yeah, you can have half of that 54% check out and be like, I'm not raising nobody's kid. My thing is this: I know there's a movement of brothers out here that's saying stay completely away from single mothers. That's kind of not where I'm at. Where I'm at is, if you have to date a woman with children, make sure that you are dealing with a woman who understands what you're going to have to do is a job that requires a lot of heavy lifting. And that she doesn't have the mindset that you have to do that, and you should be glad to do that for her, because all because you got her. Yeah, there's a difference behind. You got a lot of women. When you talk about our women and their children and getting involved with them, they look at you, the non-father, and they have a way more aggressive expectation of you than they do the actual father.
Yeah.
And that's and they don't, let me tell you something, our women don't give a damn that they have a more aggressive reputation, aggressive mindset with you about their children. They don't care. If the father didn't do the job, then you better do it. That's their mindset.
Yeah.
But my original question is, men by nature like to compete, right? We compete when we're not even thinking we're competing. I always tell people all the time, if me and my homeboy, we want the same girl, somebody gonna lose.
Hey.
Somebody gonna lose. Somebody gonna lose. Well, depending on the quality of the woman. You both.
There's no participation trophy, right?
Yeah,
right.
It's a win-win situation there.
Yeah. But in general,
nah, you don't want that one. Nah, you don't want that one.
If me and my buddy, want the same job, one of us is gonna get it, one of us is not. Me and my buddy, we like brothers. We playing flag football, and we on opposite sides of the football. I'm gonna tear your head up. I don't care how cool of buddy we are. That's just what we do. We compete. We compete in a lot of different areas, but I think in the areas that we really should be competing. While we have this, what they call the Pookies and the Ray Rays and their kids out there. And back to my original question is, how do our men lose out to them? Are we just not competitive in that market?
It's probably what the
You know, really, what I think the other ones, like, we're not really focused on finding that one or whatever. We're focused on other things instead of really focusing on, all right, I need this woman. I want to be, you know, shacked up or whatever, and I want to do the man thing. I want to do the relationship thing. We get to a certain point where we're focusing on other things instead of what they're focused on. You know, we're focusing on trying to come up on what we've lost over the years and what we're trying to achieve as well as in our lives. And that's when the Pookies and Ray Rays, they come in. They ain't really focused on nothing. They got all the time in the world to do what they need to do to get to pull that one. And then us, the other half, we are left picking up the leftovers, the scraps, as I must say.
The pieces or the pieces. But here's the thing, though. if let's just take I like that perspective, Hezekiah. But let's just take that and run with that for a minute. But does that makes us responsible for the outcome?
Yeah.
Hold on, I want to bring up one of the ladies real quick and see what she. Hey, Flo, I know you at work doing your thing and you've been listening in. What do you think so far about what we talking about? Oh, you on mute, Flo. You got to unmute yourself. Uh-oh, you got to unmute, Flo. Yep. Oh, she clicked off by accident. She'll jump back on. But
hey, you know, I had a thought though. I think too another issue that I've been seeing lately with the 54% of the men. I think a lot of people are getting hung up on. People got to lay off the YouTube. There's a lot of guys who think they like high value alpha males, and they not it. They not it. And so they run around thinking they something they not, and they not gonna make it either.
Let me tell you something.
I know a few personally that running around like, bro, you not. You was watching Kevin. So that's not you, bro.
That's not you. Let me tell you something about true alpha males. True alpha males don't go around talking about I'm an alpha male.
Never.
They just that dog. They just that dog. That's just it. They don't go around. You don't see like Dwayne Johnson going around talking about I'm an alpha male. You don't do that.
YouTube's got people wilding, man.
Yeah, we can hear you, Flo.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. But what I would like to say, I think we are still too focused on the women. We are on his image, and I would like to hear strictly about his image and what's going on with his image, why we are not on the accord that we need to be on. Like the young man said, a lot of men wait around. They want to play the field. They want to have multiples of women, and when they become certain of age, they're looking for a woman to settle down with. They should have done that when they was young. You know, if you wanted to cultivate. A lot of men don't settle. Men don't settle quicker than women don't settle. So why it seems like we catch all the flock for what's going on in between black men and black women? Men per se don't settle till they come a certain age when they fat and they balding and they belly big. Now they want to settle down and expect a woman to do what? No. I'm talking in general.
But no. Look, before the guys. What happened? Before the guys launch real quick, Flo, let me clarify something. Today's not about the ladies. That was just a setup to talk about the fact that this part of the conversation that men are not competing. So this is not really about it's not about her. It's about the 54% response to that. You know what I mean? Not necessarily about her at all. This is about the men and the fact that the men are probably not competing. And how are you losing as a man? You call yourself with the 54% are supposed to be quote unquote the best of us, but you lose into what everybody call a bum. So how do you do that?
But TJ, because in these times things are different. People find so many ways to please themselves that We have drift so far away from each other. Not that you can point is the man fault or the woman fault. Society and the way things have evolved makes it so much easier for us to be separated from each other because of the way of life now. It's so much easier to press a button and be pleased. You know, it's huh?
Coming that
You said
rose.
it. You
Man,
said
hey,
it.
the stuff, some of the
You
stuff
said
that they
it.
got, some of the stuff that they got out here is top notch. You understand me? They don't need a woman or a man when they present some of the stuff that can make you.
So you're saying the only value that we got with one another is if when we can get off? That's the only value we got?
I mean, not that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that is like the bottom line. That is the bottom line between a man and a woman. Half of the time, if you can't please a person, they won't even stick with you. You know, you got to be able to keep that fire burning. I don't
Which is
care how much
stupid.
money. I don't care how much money you can amass. If that's the case, all these rich people won't be going through what they go through. They won't be going through these divorce. They won't be having these problems if money can solve it. It's about chemistry. It's about energy. People think money is going to solve it. It won't. It won't.
But see, it goes.
Well,
You
what
got
is
to be able,
what is
you
the-
got to,
Let me ask you a question, Flo. I hear all of that, and I'm not discounting any of that. But 3 generations ago, the same issues were three generations ago, 2 generations ago. We're talking about the civil rights generation and then their parents. We're talking about those things were still there, but they managed prior to 1965. Black folk, we managed to be the most stable family unit in this country. And women were with men that didn't please them. Men were with women that didn't please them. And often during that time, you didn't know about grandpa's other family until the damn funeral.
grandpas and grandmas are in their 40s now. Times have changed, TJ.
They in their 20s. What are you talking about?
You got young grandmothers now still getting it cracking. You understand me? Times have changed. You
And it's
got to
disgusting.
understand that.
And then here's the thing,
And
Flo.
what Flo said, some men now said, I'd rather pay for it than to put up with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, you got men
that's a
who
culture of
live
men.
in the strip. I got young brothers. They live in the strip joint. You know, they would rather pay a hooker to please them for that night or to deal with them or to talk to them than to really have a woman. I'm telling you, this is bigger than.
And then
so
here's
What?
and then
I
and
think a
then
lot
you just got blatantly
Go ahead.
people who just don't want to be married. You
Go
know,
ahead.
marriage have become damn near the thing of the past. You know,
but then guess
everybody.
what? But guess what, Flo? But guess what? What does that happen to us as a group?
Man, we gonna have to.
That's why when stuff happens in this country, that's why when stuff goes south in this country, we damn near get annihilated because we're just a bunch of individuals.
We just individuals.
Yeah, we don't think of ourselves as a group anymore. In the civil rights era, we were together. We were trying to keep people from busting us upside the head. Now we've gotten fat and comfortable as Black people. We've got now, we don't know what it's like to be hunted down. Somebody gets shot every now and then. We say you get hunted down when back in the day you go outside your house and look at somebody the wrong way. No, was getting hurt.
And you think that ain't by a setup? That from then till now that they didn't put a plan into play to keep us divided? Divide and conquer. That's just been the game plan from the jump.
And guess what? And we're
falling victim to it. But
we're not victim to it. We're actually marching. We're actually delivering ourselves to it.
Yeah,
we're actually delivering ourselves. Let me mention something real quick. The last 2 years, economists have called what's happening in the work environment right now. They've calling it the Great Recession, meaning that the reason why that there are so many jobs available out here now and companies are having a hard time finding employees is because white women left the market. They left the
do. They don't have to go.
Hold on a second, Flo. They left the employment market. and they went home because their men told them to take care of their families. What's left in the employment market right now ain't nothing but a bunch of single black mothers are in the employment market. And so when I tell people this all the time. We were 1 month away. When we were in that lockdown, we were 1 month away for there being a food shortage in this country. We were 1 month away from that. If that lockdown would have lasted one more month, what you think would if Phil and Brad and Chad, if that had happened, and they know over on the north side where most of the black folks are, and they got most of them ain't got no dude in the house. We're not talking about some dude that come by and dust you off from time to time. Most of our sisters ain't got no dude in the house. Do you think if Chad and Phil and Bob need to feed their family, you don't think they showing up at your door? And then what are women gonna do? So yeah, I know we're not together, but at what cost? At what cost?
At a high cost.
Yeah, by choice. We're not together by proxy and by choice. And I've said this a couple of times here. You've heard me say this, and I will keep saying it. I will keep saying about it. The divide between us as black men and black women is as big as the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
And we don't know how to come and shrink that divide, because
I think we
said it, like
it's huge, because every time I log into Instagram and TikTok, I'm like, wow.
we too busy worrying about ourselves instead of worrying about the next man or the next brother or the next sister that's either in front of us, behind us, or to the left or to the right of us.
Yeah, I think too, social media, internet. Yeah, I think sometimes the worst of us gets the loudest voices, and it makes things sometimes seem worse than it is. Like we all just hate each other. Because when I'm out my everyday life, I see people together. I see fathers, mothers, but on the internet, everybody is the worst of us. It's the loudest voice. It's like the
worst of us is the loudest voice. Yep.
Yeah, the sensationalism.
It's just like good and bad. They promote bad so good. You know, they make you feel like the world is bad, but the world is way more good than bad. But if they promote bad so good, that's how they love keeping us all in fair. The world is mostly good. When that George Floyd situation, it lets me know that the world is more good than bad. But the people that sits on top and want to keep us divided, they gonna keep that promoting bad so good. You know.
We're about to go through the worst thing ever on the internet, but in my everyday life, I see people doing great things all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah. They don't promote that though.
But you know, where are we at as a unit? Hold on a second. We're about to head into our 3D radio break. Tyrone, for you don't know what that is. This basically we do a 5-minute break where we feature an artist, we play his music, and then it gives us a bridge between the next topic. Okay. So, but before we get there, I do want to just round robin real quick. I want to hit this home just to put a pin in this segment. 54% of black men, single childless, earn enough money to be in the middle class. How are they, in a few words, each of you, how are these men not able to secure a woman before she gets with a Ray Ray or Pookie, however we want to describe it? How do we lose out to those dudes? Because it's not like we don't approach the sisters. It's not like we don't put ourselves in their orbit. It's not like we don't. I don't care what we doing. I work 2 jobs. I have 2 full-time jobs, and I'm always trying to find myself in the face of a black woman. So I don't want to hear that. Hezekiah, what you think?
You know, for me, it's like what Flo was saying, like it's the new generation. So for a man, we try to be very, very careful. So it's like, if I can get pleasure, even temporary pleasure, and not have to deal with a woman, I am.
Pleasure. Yeah. So that's all we care about now.
Mostly for a man, like you said, back in the 60s and 70s, Long Granddaddy went and did what he had to do, came home, and grandma had all the kids. He wanted pleasure.
I'm glad.
So for us, it's the same way.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. You hold that thought right there, Hezekiah. Hold that thought right there. I'm glad you said that. No, I'm glad you said that because yeah, Mr. Tyrone.
So I think one thing is be a man, like be a upstanding masculine man, and stop. A lot of men are kind of getting watered down out here. Women don't get watered down, man.
Watered down, man.
And I find it insulting a little bit that we are like men can't have morals and not be out here cheating and being grimy because most men aren't out here cheating.
No.
Most men aren't. So that's another hype that we get, internet hype, that we're all out here cheating, being grimy. It's not true. It's just not true.
So our women are picking, could be picking those. I would hate to say the bottom 18 to 20% because even within that, they're but picking that level of men, picking even the bottom 18. Let me just say that even the bottom 18 to 20% of our guys are not necessarily like the hardened thugged out criminals of our community. So in that 18-20% of the guys are the guys that just are the son husbands, the mama's boys, the laziness. They're not like terrorizing the community. They're just ineffectively adults and ineffectively men. But our women and their projects. Women like a good project. I tell them all the time, go buy a big box Chevy if you want a project.
But as individuals, who don't want the best in life? So why would you feel that we would just go out and choose a man at the bottom of standards? Nobody. I know I want the best in life, so I'm not going to choose the worst.
I got an answer for that. And you might not like it.
Deceit is the answer for that.
No.
Men come deceitful. That's the answer for it. Because if we knew they are the worst of the men, we won't choose them.
Listen, let me tell you something.
We won't choose them, TJ. Naturally, we won't do that. We want the best, and our women are already materialistic. Why would we choose the bottom of you men if we want the best? It don't make sense.
Here's the thing, Flo. And as a lady, you probably gonna object to this all day long and twice on Sundays.
All day long, and twice on Sunday.
Listen to what I'm about to say. One of the major reasons that happened, Flo, is it's the female nature. This is what I mean by that. Women make decisions based upon how they feel about it. If a brother is able to make you feel good about his situation and about him, because of your nature, you will set aside the logical conclusion, which is that I know he got 2 babies over there, and I do know his baby, and they are a little crazy, but so he must be okay. No.
But men do it too. Men will pick a bust down woman and make her his woman. As people do, men do it, women do it. So what is the argument?
And then here's the thing, Flo. But here's the thing.
Men go off of physical appearance. How you look is all you got to do for them. That's all it takes for a man.
Hold on a second, Flo.
Initially,
you have to understand something.
We got to make y'all feel good. We just got to look good.
Okay. I'm sorry, Flo. I had to do that. I'm sorry.
You got that right. Yeah.
Here's the thing. No, she's absolutely correct. But here's the thing, Flo. Yes, men do it too. But the problem is when a woman does it, the outcomes is a lot more grave for her. That's the difference.
But men are the one left complaining that there ain't no woman. It's hard for me to believe that there's good men left, but there's no good woman left. I just can't go for that.
Hey, TJ. Flo, you know what? They ain't even got to look good. If the attributes are good,
man, it don't take nothing for a man. We gotta at least make sure y'all feel good. We just gotta look good. So are we to be blamed for your choices? Are the women to be blamed for your choices?
You got to do more than look good. Hey, Fred.
So when it comes to the single families, the single mothers, like what happens to sexual responsibility? You don't have to have sex with everybody, so soon. And there is birth control. There's condoms. There's options to not be a single mother.
Exactly.
You know? So
when a woman get pregnant, is it solely is both responsibility, but mainly a man make that decision. We do what we do, we have sex, but a man initially make that decision when he lay responsibility and want to bust a nut and don't want to be responsible for that issue that's gonna come at hand. You know what you're doing when you lay and bust a nut in a woman, knowing she gonna get pregnant, but don't want to be responsible.
I got a solution. No.
All right. We're gonna put a pin.
Hold on. Don't you know that women are
Hold on, Flo. I'm sorry I had to cut you off, Flo. Hold on a second. Right there, because we run out of time. We're gonna put a pin in it. We're gonna get to our break. We're gonna get to the next segment, which is this. Hezekiah made that statement about getting their feelings off. So if that's the case, Hezekiah, going into the break, and there's something to think about going into the break, then are you only worse being her cleanup man? Think about it.
I done thought about it.
Understand this. The way that I spit it like putting strokes on the canvas. Taking notes of all the urban cries. Put it down, materialize, then watch as the paint dries. Better bet the ink, cause every time I think it's time to keep it flow while these other cats sing. No Titanic, too over dramatic. I feel like new edition in the brain now. Tell me, can you stand it? With each word I'm building me a steeple. And if you open my works up, there you'll find my cathedral. You got your wood stains, a little glass paint, but it all tell a story, man. Think that it can't. Where I come from, it's deer hunters and street guns. So I spray these words like the Uzi weighs a ton. It's that heavy. I'm pouring this out from my heart to give you the truth. The way that you see is art. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything that spit is just like a brushstroke. Paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a picture. Yo, this life's artwork. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything that it spit is like a brushstroke. Paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a picture. Yo, this life's artwork. Prescription, better yet my mission is to visualize and give the world vision. Work to heal the streets with a little audio heat. And smooth it all out over laid back beats. A to the R to the T, Wisco flow. Like you're in a gallery and see a Picasso. But this ain't Picasso, baby. Even though it's like Jay, cause it's gonna drive the world crazy. This is for those admiring and looking. I heat it up for Instagram and Pinterest cooking. It's so acrylic every time that I spit it. My foliage show that I all get it. Speaking of, this art get wows and awes. Like a masterpiece that's up in the halls. Everything is so realistic, but better yet, man, yo, it's so artistic. Cause now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything that spit is just like a brushstroke. Paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a picture. Yo, this life is hard work. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And everything that it spit is like a brushstroke. Paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a pitch, paint a picture. Yo, this life is hard work. My glaze hand bring the pick on home. I'm just an artiste in the Midwest zone. Now it's a lot of cats that paint, but they ain't making art. Cause they be lying from the very start. So I make it a point that I paint what I feel. Cause I know deep inside what I feel is all real. And this exhibit don't end till I say so. Sincerely yours, Michael Tangelo. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke. And the way that it spit is like a brushstroke. Paint a picture. paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture. Yo, this life is hard work. Now you can tell by the voice that it ain't a joke, and the way that it spit is like a brush stroke. Paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture, paint a picture. Yo, this life is hard work. It's all hard work, baby. Welcome to my masterpiece, theater. Now you can go on and get a bootleg of it if you need to, you know what I'm saying? You can hang it on your wall, you don't even need a frame. Yo, this life is artwork.
Okay, that was a 3D radio break. Tyrone. Right. Woo. Now you see some of my crew, boy, they can get
all right.
they can get fired up real good, can't they?
Oh, nice. Hey, that's fun. That's fun.
The way it's supposed to go. And we gotta have these conversations. And I kind of like some, the crew that I deal with, because I it can be challenging, fun, and respectful. So I like that. We really, I think we did a really good job with that first topic. This one's a little bit more kind of in line with that, but I just got me and you up on the screen right now, because after the break I would just I like the two screen split. It looks good.
Okay.
So the question leading into the break was, and Hezekiah made that statement about, and I'm paraphrasing about, I can just go to the club, or I can just go pay for my pleasure. I mean, is that all you think of a woman is? I mean, if that's the attitude, because you don't want to deal with a woman, first of all, I'm not talking about Hezekiah specifically, but that mindset lets me know you ain't dealt with your daddy or your granddaddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they would never, ever say, I would rather go do that than to deal with the headache of a woman. Every man understand that dealing with a woman comes with a degree of headache.
There's you know what I mean? Difficulty for sure.
It comes with a degree. And I tell guys all the time, she is designed, whether you believe it or not, she is designed to test your gangster on a regular basis. She can't help it.
Yeah.
She can't help it.
I mean, and we need each other. We need each other's energy, man. Like I tell people all the time, when I was in the Army and I was on a base with nothing but men, and there's no women around, it goes stupid, bro. Like it goes, men go get weird. It goes crazy.
We do
some feminine. You get some women around just to be around. Everybody kind of settles down because they want to be normal for the woman. They want to, kind of compete to see who to get the attention.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was in sports in high school. I was in sports in high school and in college, man. It's nice being around your guys, but man, when we're around each other a little too long, that's trouble.
Yeah.
Because a guy, most guys, man, we always down for a little trouble. You know what I mean? We always down for it. And the crazier sound, the more we go, about that. Yeah, we do get a little weird, a little rambunctious. Absolutely. Definitely. We do need each other. And I think I was having a conversation with a nurse at work the other day, and she was very gung-ho about her, all of these businesses and stuff like that. And I asked her, I said, all that's fine and dandy. I said, you have that goal, but I said, what goal do you have that's non-monetary related?
Mm-hmm.
I said, this one, I call her the unicorn, not because she's a rare woman, like sometimes she's a special woman, meaning she's Black, 36, no children. You know what I mean? That's unheard of, right? Yeah.
It makes people nervous. People wonder what's wrong.
What's wrong? You know what I mean? And I said to her, your whole frame mode is, about a business, about a business. How you gonna feel about a business when you 70 years old and ain't nobody around?
Right.
And I told her, I said, you a nurse. You are a nurse. I think your girl's on. You are a nurse. We get to, I'm a respiratory therapist by trade. Let me tell you something, man. Our women are, people, always think that our Black men are dying alone. They're not. There's always, when an old black man is in the hospital, there's always somebody there, a niece, a nephew, a daughter, the next door neighbor. Are women?
For the most part. Now, I will say I've been to the VA. I've seen some black men out here.
Yeah,
I was talking to one guy. He was talking about how he was a player and this and that.
Yeah.
And then as he's scooting himself in his wheelchair by himself, I'm like, oh, that didn't work out very well, brother.
Yeah. But at the rate that I see,
our
sisters going, man, when I have a sister up there, an older lady, and she's in my care, I do what I got to do, for my treatment stuff, and I always come back around. And it's a lot of them. I always come back around during my downtime. A lot of times people go into downtime and they sit down and they watch Netflix or do this. No, I go back and visit our ladies, our older ladies. I don't care how they got there by themselves. You know what I mean? I just go there, sit down, chop it up with them, learn some stuff. The history. You're 70 years old. You've been in this world 40 some odd years before I got here.
Yeah.
So I like to talk about stuff like that with them. But we don't think about when you like 28, 30, 45. We don't think about what happens when you start seeing your friends and stuff die off, or your relatives die off, and your brothers and sisters die off. We don't think about, well, what does that mean for me, and who's going to be there for me? And so we're really dug in right now, Tyrone. We really dug in about in our specific camps. Okay. Let me get right onto this topic so we can get through this.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So black men, regardless sometimes of what we think about ourselves, if you start looking at like the behaviors and the decisions that our women make, they have sent a very strong message. If you look at the fact that, and I know a lot of our sisters give pushback when I say they made the choice. A lot of them say they didn't have a choice. You made the choice. 75% of our women have decided that, not to require a guy to come in and make them a Mrs. something or give them status before they start popping up their kids. They made that choice to do that. And a lot of our men, regardless of what we think about ourselves, we are naturally designed to protect our women, for them to come up under our protection and cooperation. If they're deciding to forego that says something about how they think about us. Whether it's a conscious decision or not, whether it's programming or not. You know what I mean? It's a choice, because I don't think on a natural level a woman would naturally choose just be like, I don't think she's wired to just be off onto herself. But our women are doing it at in packs, and they're passing it on generationally. But they're not looking at what the outcomes and stuff like that it's producing. So it makes me think, to a degree that, most of our women have decided that most of our black men are not even worth pairing with. And I don't think that they openly feel that way. I'm just looking at it from a behavior standpoint, that you're rejecting it. Or, if you are a guy that has worked hard and built something, and you've been relatively responsible, and even if you approach a woman and you like her and she got a kid or two, but you still like her, you want to go there, the way she receives you is with hostility and questioning, your intent and all this, even though she can see your life is littered with good decisions, but she still questions it. What does that say? What message is that saying? And then if you have guys out here who are, not that Hezekiah has that mindset, but if you got guys out here who are like, I'd rather just not deal with the headache, and then no wonder why our women will have the attitude of, well, when you come to me and I got these kids, you take care of them. You basically, because of that attitude, you don't think women are typically more intuitive than we are. You know what I mean? You think they can't feel that vibe? So, okay, if I'm just here for you because you ready to just get your rocks off and I look good, then you're going to come in and take care of these kids.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
And I think that our women not coming into cooperation with us, I think that has a big impact on our how our leadership skill ranks against other men. I think it impacts our ability to be respected by out in the larger community. I think it impacts it also impacts the man and his willingness to want to invest in his own community. Ain't nothing worse than a man who can't get no woman. That's a dangerous man. At the end of the day, every man on some level wants access to a lady on some level.
Absolutely.
That makes a very dangerous man. And you got 54% of black men out here who don't have a reason to invest in anything. So that's something. So, you know, when I try to talk to our ladies about these various issues with us, I try to say, listen, and of that 54%, a lot of them, believe it or not, don't know how to engage with a woman, because most of us, let me tell you something. If you were born between like 1974 to 92, 93, you were raised with a woman in the house. You don't know how, all you know about a woman, how to engage with a woman, is what your mama tells you. And that's not necessarily true with what a woman wants. In order to really learn how to engage with a woman is to learn from a guy who has success with engaging with a woman. Because what a woman says she wants and what a guy who has success with a woman knows what a woman wants, those are two different things. Those are just two different ways of approaching. So you got a whole basically generation and a half of guys who don't even know how to engage with a woman, cultivate the relationship, build her. When you hear people say she needs to get on my program, what that actually means on a practical level, you know what I mean? And not to use that terminology with her. You know what I mean? And it's all about your frame and how the standards and the expectations that you set. If you are, as we talked about the whole alpha male thing, if you are that dude, let me tell you something about a woman's nature. If you that dude and you are well within your quote unquote frame, she gonna fall up under it. And it don't matter if it's some random woman, your mother will do so, your sisters will do so, because it's their nature. But we have a generation and a half, almost two, of men who were exclusively raised with our mother's programming and their outlook on what they should, and they don't give us the best advice about how to interact with a woman. They don't. They actually, a lot of our women raise the men that they actually don't like.
Yeah. I think a lot of it too. We got to look at culture. The culture has changed so much since we were all together. You end up with the black exploitation. We started want to be the pimps. Now everything is transactional. The relationships are transactional. We got the men and women don't like each other. Like, if you're enemies, how you gonna come together with your enemy? Everybody thinks they're enemies. I'm gonna get in your pockets. Nah, you're not getting in my pockets. And it's just we haven't gotten to loving each other. Look at our music. Look at our R&B. Look, R&B used to be talking about loving each other. You're talking about wooing a woman. Now it's all about sex. Even the soft R&B is, I want to beat it up, and it's our culture just isn't conducive to us coming together. And culture is important. You can raise a kid, even if you can raise a kid and tell a kid the right thing, but if everything they see outside their culture is counter to that, and whether their peers is counterproductive to that, it's tough. So that's what I'm seeing out here. The culture. I work in a school. I work with middle school kids, and you got like 6th, 7th grade girls talking about, get his pockets. Boy, in middle school, he ain't got no pockets. He ain't got no pockets.
Oh, good, because they're hearing that in, oh God, getting his pockets. Oh wow.
The culture, culture, what they hear and see and just immersed in, it's tough to fight that.
Yeah, it really is. And so, the last couple of weeks, man, on my streams, I've kind of been pushing the conversation towards that. Frederick said, the gap between men and women is ocean wide. Yeah, absolutely. But I actually believe that can be fixed, and I think we can do it. I think men can do it. I think there needs to be some kind of meeting of minds with the men, and we have a collective mindset or understanding or attitude that we're done with this, and I believe we can fix this. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit in my conclusion. But so when if piggyback on what Hezekiah said about not wanting to deal with the woman's what comes with her, and we could just get her for sex, then my question becomes then you don't where do you get the right then to complain about what she do and how she set out the agenda for herself? And then and if you want that from a woman, then the question becomes, and then what kind of man are you? What have you done with your manhood that will that will allow you to demand anything of her? In order to make a demand of somebody, you got to have the ability to make that demand.
Right.
And if your attitude is like, well, I don't want to deal with it, I just go do this or do that, or I just come through or run through and smash and this or that or that, what is she gonna submit to? You think women don't understand?
Right.
How you feel? Do you think they don't understand? Even you ain't got to say it. You don't think they understand? They get it.
Yeah.
What kind of? Go ahead.
I think we got to bring back morals, man. Like morals and older elders checking younger guys when it comes to women. Like I had a father who taught me how to treat a woman, who showed me, hey, this is how you treat your woman. You protect your woman. You work with your woman. It's work in the relationship, but we've lost that. And if I was out here, looking crazy, he was gonna say something to me. That's not how I raised you. This isn't the way. We don't do that anymore.
No.
Anything goes, and we don't like to shame. We don't want to shame people. I think shame is okay sometimes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and now it's like, don't shame anybody. It's just anything goes.
Let me tell you something, man. I was at the gym today, and I was going through. I got a personal trainer, so I'm going through. He working with me, I want to punch him in the face because I'm hurting, and I was like really exhausted. And after like my third set or something, I just kind of flopped down on the floor. And when you work with the personal trainer, you're inside this cage. I'm talking about shaming. So just outside of the cage was like some leg press or something like that. There was a 70-year-old black man on the side of that. When that man saw me, this man don't know me from hole in the wall. When he saw me flop down on the floor, that man was like, he said, fella, get up off that floor.
There you go.
He said, did nobody tell you to get yourself that way? Get up. I looked at that dude. I was like, what the hell are you talking to?
Right. But you got up, didn't you?
It didn't, and I'm thinking, he go, I'm 70 years old, brother. And I ain't finna flop on no floor foot. And I never felt so, I was so embarrassed. So embarrassed. Because he was right. One, he was right. You know what I mean? And he was of a generation. It did not matter that he did not know me. He saw a brother.
Right.
That shared his reflection, that needs to be working on something, doing something that he didn't deem to be, I guess, within frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No. What you trying to be tired for now? You weren't tired when you were letting all of that go. So get up and keep working. And so the whole thing about the shame back, there's a place for it. Well, I'm so mad at that man. But
we need that, man. We need that in life. Everybody can't always feel good about what they're doing.
No. And no, not at all. Not at all. I think this has been a good stream. We run out of time, so I gotta cut literally my whole second half, but that's okay. So let me get to the conclusion. Hey, Tyrone, here's what we typically do at the end of the stream. We hit the ending credits, and then we come back and do what we call like a wrap-up show. Like it's a 10-minute, like where we debrief what we did over the course of the stream, and then we cut out. Okay, so hang back for me for a minute, and I'll be right with you. Okay.
All right.
Woo. All right. All right, so let me say this. You know, as a man, I mean, always ask yourself this: do you have the ability to stand on what you believe and what you know to be right? And we're talking about in relation to your woman. Do you have the ability to stand on what you believe and what you know to be right, even if that means she walks out on you? Do you have the resolve of your convictions when you know you're right? Can you tell her no? And can you go to sleep soundly knowing you pissed her off because you said no about something? Are you able to demand, fight, and stand on the direction your family needs to go? Are you willing, if need be, to cut her off? Let her go if she's unwilling to get on board with what is for the best interest of the family. Remember, this woman, if she married you or got into a long-term relation with you, she should have done it because she should have been able to trust that you wouldn't guide her wrong. So are you willing to stand on, as a man, what you need to against your woman when it's for the best interest of the family? You know, as a black man and just as a man, we want our women to take us seriously. But the question can be, how can we be taken seriously? But how about this? How about we take each other seriously as black men? The issues we have with our black women can be corrected. I mean, not entirely, not by 100%, but we as black men have influence on how our women behave, their attitudes towards us. Here's a few things I think we can do. One, when our women make poor choices that impact their life for the rest of their life, and they do it while looking down the nose of productive brothers, then we let them live in their mess. We don't come to their rescue. A lot of women will go through perpetual bad behaviors because there's always a brother willing to lay down with them. So somebody talked, Mr. Tyrone talked about, sexual discipline. That we're talking about you fellas as well. You see a woman who continuously, she 28, 30, keep making decisions, keep dealing with the same bum losers, keep popping out their babies. Why are you running up behind that dude? Let her, she's made her choice. But there's too many of us who will line up to help rescue that bad behavior. So one of the things we can do as men is when we see a woman that's just hell-bent on life destruction, let her go destroy her life. I know a lot of us do not like to get compared to the other groups of men out here, but that's what they do. If their women are destructive, they let them go. They go let them self-destruct, and they don't rescue them. They're not saying that they don't go out and help rescue women who want to be rescued, or that somehow a woman can't make a mistake, or she can't get herself in a situation with a fella and it turns out that fella was not where he needed to be or what she needed for him. We're not talking about that. We talk about the continual cycle of bad decisions and stuff like that. There's a reason why there's only a 30% baby mama rate in the white community. There's a reason for that. Them white women know their men ain't coming to their rescue if they keep screwing up. They know that. Don't let it be like an East Indian. Oh my God. You screw up once, you out. The whole family disowns you. It's a wrap. They don't play. So black men, if you run across a woman like that, I don't care what she look like. I don't care how easy it is. When you give a woman attention, you give her validation. So when you sign up for a lady with these kind of behaviors, don't date her, don't sleep with her. And I know that's like dudes are like, what are you talking about? That's like low-hanging fruit. That's easy. I know. It's called discipline. They've made their choice. So let them. Number 2, have the ability to make sound, rational decisions about yourself for yourself. Don't bend just because a black woman, because you stand on something with your black woman and she threatens to not sleep with you. So what? Let me let you in on a little secret. When I was, let me let you in with a little secret. Women will challenge you. They will know and understand that a situation that they're presenting to you might not be for the best interest. And you initially say no. But if you allow her to convince you to do what's in the worst, not in the best interest of her and the family, simply because she wants to do it, that woman subconsciously will never respect you again. Stand on what's right. Your woman will challenge you, will challenge your manhood, will challenge your authority, will challenge your frame, will challenge your leadership. You have to be rooted enough to understand that when it comes to stuff like that, that you are doing the right thing. And if she want to pack up and go because you want us in a right direction that's not going to harm us in the family, then you let her walk out the door. You can go cry in your Budweiser later about it, but you let her walk out that door. Now, I'm not talking about I'm talking about using discernment in those situations and not making decisions to stand rooted because of your ego or your pride. I'm talking about when you know that decision or that thing that she's bringing to you is wrong. If you want to take it back biblically, Adam knew it was wrong to eat fruit from the forbidden tree. And he allowed his complaining woman to convince him, because he got tired of hearing her complain about it and whatever, to do the wrong thing, and he knew what the right thing was to do. And if you read the story, you know what the consequences of that was. All because he didn't stand tout on his frame. So that's the number two, fellas. Be able to make sound, rational decisions. Be able to stand on where you need to stand on. Your woman, if she respects you enough, she'll fall in line. She'll respect you even more. If you can help lead her to avoid a very catastrophic situation. The other thing you can do, support other productive black men with their quests and their development. We don't always have to be besties with the brothers that we support. We don't even got to like each other. Other cultures of men do business with each other. They protect their neighborhoods with one another. They protect their families. They come to other men's aid of their culture when there's an existential threat. They come together and they do it under the flag of the group. There is no requirement for you to have to that man needs to break bread at your table. So those are like the first three steps or so that I think that some of the stuff that we can implement together. And let me make this a little bit personal real quick, all right? And we're going to wrap it up. Let me make this a little bit personal about me. I have to admit, I have not always been that kind of a man. I have to admit that. I have backed down when I knew I shouldn't have. I have accepted behaviors and conditions that a man should never have to accept from his woman. I have been in a position where I just gave in because I was unwilling to let her walk out the door. I've been in those positions. How can a woman respect that? You know? And I can't expect her to feel like I'm able to fight for her, protect her, stand up for her, or even provide direction to her when I can't even face her down when she's providing bringing things to into the situation that we need to handle. How can she respect you when you won't even stand up to her? How do other men respect you when you won't even stand up to your woman? And here's the hurtful truth. Too many of us black men are just now coming to the realization of this stuff at a late stage of life. And we are extremely behind in a lot of areas, but that don't mean that we have to stay that way. At what point as black men are we going to claim responsibility for our own outcomes, our own image, and all in the direction of all things black? We call ourselves men, even if we don't know what that means entirely. It's still our job to take the necessary steps to figure out what that is, even if that means going out, paying for a coach, paying for a mentor to help you with that. And also understanding that not everyone can come along for the ride or for the remake. Remember, when God destroyed the earth by water, despite all of the warnings, despite all of the begging Noah did to try to get the people to come onto the ark, to help build, to help prepare, their stubbornness, their ego, at some point, Noah just had to go and save himself and his family. We're going to stick a pin in that conversation right there. Stick around after the ending credits while we and the guests tonight discuss what we talked about today, okay? We're going to do a little short wrap-up. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. A lot of fun. I think we did a really good job today dealing with this. We are the Real Bravado Network. This is Have the Conversation.
I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody. I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day. I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody. I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day. I get it in. I'm a king and I will never knew. Plotting for my fall. You getting hanged for treason. I don't aim to please. Do anything I feel. Haters gonna talk. Don't listen to the shit. They tryna be like me. They know they can do. Can't even get loose. I'm on a pedestal. Sitting on my throne. My neck be decked in gold. I don't do no hoes. I've got a queen though. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody. I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day. I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody. I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day. I get it in. I'm a king. I told you guys before. Ready for the war. To get me way much more. Gather all these parts. Add them to my kingdom. Shout out to my fans for pledging your allegiance. You get a reward, the best flow you've ever heard. I don't be mixing with birds. I'm a lion on the surge, always pushing to the edge. Facing arrows, never scared. For my greatness, I'm a servant, only under myself. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody. I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day. I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody. I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten. Just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day. I get it in.
Hey, Philly, go ahead and cam up. Sorry you were having all that trouble during the screen. All right, guys, here's the question I ask everyone every time. How did it go?
It's good on my end.
How'd it go?
Great.
Good, man.
I have so much to say.
Well, you know what? You know, Philly, you've been You've been at these after streams. You can lay it out. You can lay it out now. Like what parts were you like ready to pounce?
Look, before my phone got to like 5% and I had to get out. I want to say that I understand where it comes from. You know, we need to like respect each other. Like, the man is, you know, the head and all of that. But in today's time and in certain situations, I believe that there are, and from personal experience, and just from in speaking in general too, what I've just witnessed is a lot of men, they abuse like they abuse women emotions, psyche, all of that, just because they are a man and they have a peen. It's not even about trying to be on one accord and in order. And when I say in order, I am talking biblically. It's not about the respect thing, because respect goes both ways. If you want me to respect you as a man, as the being that God put to be ahead of the household, you have to give me something to respect as well.
That was the underlying theme of tonight. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
And
go ahead, please. Go ahead.
And like I said, it's just from experience and just witnessing, like it's too many that want to have this big D energy, but they not contributing. Like my children's father, like at one point he thought, oh, just because I have children, he had children by me, like he can walk in and out, or oh, y'all always gonna be my family.
Do you want to know what that do you want to know why that is?
But that's because of his upbringing. He witnessed
Philly.
No.
The reason why men with children give off that energy with you about I can always walk in and out. Let me tell you something, and I'll let you finish. Men are conquerors. We felt like we've conquered you. When we feel like we've conquered you, we feel like that you are permanently. Well, I'm not saying it's rational, but I'm just saying we feel a certain kind of way about a woman or any entity. Look at how. Take it outside of the relationship. Look at how white people interact with black people. They conquered us. So they feel that they're entitled to talk to us, handle us a certain kind of way because they've conquered us. So I'm just saying there's not a whole lot of difference in that. Go ahead.
Right. But I had to wake him up, like, to realization, like, that ain't no more. Once, like, you made that decision to, okay, I want this one, that one. I want to, have another family over there. Okay, that's your decision. But you're not going to leave me over here, you know what I'm saying, hanging, okay, have me feeling bad because I, want to move on. I want to be in love. I want to have, like, okay, once you have made the decision to cut this quote unquote family off and made another family, okay, your new family is your family, period, point blank. Like, we not doing all that extra stuff over this way. But and that's just one like I said, experience. Say that again. Somebody say something.
Get rid of that.
I can't hear you.
I think she said get rid of that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to.
Okay, I thought you were. Yeah. So
Philly, here's the thing. Remember, I've said time and time and time again that,
wait, hold on.
and this is not a shot at anybody, but
Right.
oftentimes, I push all the times with our ladies that I said, I said it earlier in the stream that our women make decisions based on how they feel about something. And if you can make her feel okay about it, she'll set aside logic for how she feels about it. So a lot of times I tell women, you need to choose your men based off a character first. Because if he has a decent enough character will drive, even in disagreement or low periods. His character will drive how he treats and interacts with you. But a lot of times, the guy with the character and the guy that make you feel some kind of way, they're not the same guy.
Right. And sometimes it can be an illusion too.
Right. Well, no, see, I look at that as like that's the fear mechanism, because if it's a character, if it's a character, that's not illusion. If a guy comes in pretending to be, you can't pretend to be forever. You know what I mean? If a guy comes in, and when I say character, that doesn't mean that man, even that man with the character, don't have flaws. He's a human being. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of times our ladies do not know how to assess the appropriateness of a man. They just don't. Because you're driven, and this is no knock, because it's just how you're wired. You're driven about your emotion. If I got a dumpster fire of a background, but I can come in and make you feel good about sleeping with me, giving me your money, calling me your man. If I can make you feel good about it, you'll do it. Even though I got a dumpster fire of a background. And then sometimes with our women, it's not even that. It's we in a relationship, and sometimes the relationship deteriorates and explodes, and it leaves you feeling some kind of way. And it's not even about that. So, but I talk to ladies a lot about, you need to look at a character. I know you ladies are always hell bent on chemistry, but there was a point in our existence where it worked. Where our women did not have the luxury to sit around and worry about superficial stuff when it came to mating. It was about, can this man take care of me and our children? And I tell people all the time, go back, if you got family albums, go back and look at your grandmama, great-grandmama, your great-grandfather. You'll see beautiful women, but not necessarily these fine men. But they were there for a lifetime. And I'm not saying because they were there for a lifetime, there were no problem. There were problems. I talk about my grandparents all the time. There was a point where my grandfather screwed up real bad, and my grandfather knew if he left his house, he wasn't ever getting back in. This man sat in the basement for almost a month. He almost lost his job because he screwed up so bad, and he knew if he walked out of that house that he probably wasn't be able to get back in there. But that was the tipping point for him. You know what I mean? That was the tipping point for him. His screw up was his tipping point. But then my grandmother, because I asked her, why did you continue on? She goes, I thought about am I hurt in the moment versus my lifetime? I got 5 boys. Outside of this screw up, this man has been remarkable. Maybe I needed to find a way to try to figure out a way. She goes, oh, I was going to punish him. And my grandmother's now deceased, but my grandfather, that's one of the, after she's gone, that's like the number one thing he talks about. His screw up and how bad she punished him, and how he stayed in the basement for 5 months because he refused to leave. And then after she locked him up out of the basement, walked through the house without having his head tore off, all the other things that he had to do to reingratiate himself into the trust of his wife. And 60 years before she passed, that's how long they were married. So even with men of character, you're going to find issues or things that happen even with men of character. That's why we got to do a better job of trying to figure out how to mentor our women into assessing men better. Back in the day, no, the father, the grandfather, the brothers, the uncles, they did that for you. No. Because men know. Frederick could tell you, Mr. Tyrone tell you, we smell a fraud a mile away.
Easy.
We smell a fraud. Look, all these ladies I work with was in love with Derek Jackson. And I used to tell them, Derek Jackson was this love, self-help guru on Facebook, on YouTube. They love Derek Jackson. They used to come to me, show me all his videos. See, this is what he's talking about. This is what, and I used to tell them all the time, something wrong, something off about that brother, because he trying too hard to make you like him. Something wrong. And what ended up coming out with that brother? That brother was just the biggest snake as anything else out there.
A pookie.
He was a whole pookie.
POS.
He was a whole pookie. And men can sniff out other men. The problem is women don't like to be told what to do or who to like.
Yeah, but by that time, when you dealing with the pookie who is so deceitful about how he comes at you, how we women, it depending on who they are, you don't always know they coming like that. They are good at what they do. Is deceit. You just like how you got deceitful women. You got some women that know how to run their game on a man, but by the time he figured it out, he popped. Man, look, I can't down neither party, because when you come across these walks of life, depending on who you come across, you could come across some smooth criminals. They good at what they do. You're not gonna play everybody's game.
No doubt, Flo. But the thing I tell our ladies is, no doubt, I'll take that. I'll take that as fair. But here's the thing. You got to be you have to be a little bit more discerning, because like I said earlier, the outcome for you can be catastrophic.
The best of us get tricked, no matter what.
Flo. Yes, the best of us get tricked, but the problem is for the ladies, the tricking problem leaves you guys almost emotionally, financially, and socially ruined. So we always say, if a man like you that much, make him give you what counts before you give him anything that is of value. And what's of value to you is a lady. I know you guys don't like to hear this a lot, but it's your ability to produce an heir. You don't produce an heir for anybody until he and yes, even in that, there's no guarantee, but that's a safer mode than just like rolling through life with some dude and just figuring that out as it go along, because the responsibilities flow. Me and you we have some hot conversations offline, but the responsibility for you, what happens to you is you get left holding the shit bag. That's you know what I mean? And we don't, and actual decent brothers
right out the window and keep it moving. I ain't gonna get left holding nothing.
I'm just saying, you get left holding the shit bag.
I'm aboard ship. You always know that there is so many ways to skin a cat. If you get dealt a bad hand, learn from it. Don't keep playing that bad hand and not learn from it. It's like a spade game. You're not gonna always get dealt a good hand, but if you're a good player, you're gonna know how to play your hand. That's what all it boils down to, knowing how to play every hand that you're dealt, because every day in life is a different hand you're gonna be dealt. Knowing how to play your hand is important. Very important. We all gonna get dealt a different hand every single day.
Yeah, some people keep reneging though. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Every spade game they reneging. They ain't learning how to play the game.
They've been playing so long and they still ain't grasped the game.
They just ain't trying to play.
They just not trying to get it, and you can't help every.
Focus.
That's the call, but only few gonna be chosen. You know how many of us gonna get lost along the wayside because we just don't get it? Yeah.
It's the church thing.
We gotta try.
Gotta be responsible out here. There's nothing wrong with being responsible. There's nothing wrong with waiting a little bit before we throw the cookies at it, wait a little bit.
All the time. Take time to get to know an individual before you jump into sex. Sex will alter the way you.
If that man a dirtbag, you can't hold it for so long.
Exactly. Y'all know what? Y'all know what I do? Like when, just like in conversation, like when a guy try to approach me, like respectfully, not like disrespectful, like somebody did this morning that, I almost put my knife out on. But when somebody approaches me respectfully, trying to get to know me, I'll be like, well, if it get to like the phone conversation part, it's like, well, I'm not, I want to date for at least a year, just go on dates or whatever for at least a year. And then if it gets to, that point, it gets to that point. If it don't, it don't.
Philly, you know what I was told?
That's like, it never, I'm talking about like, once that is stated, it never fails. Everybody just gone. Like, it never fails. So that's how I know, what I'm saying, that person is not, the one. Like, it's, because like here in Houston, I don't know, like when they approach you, it's like, hey, my name is so-and-so, so-and-so. It's not even what's your name. It's like, where do you stay? And you be like, huh? Literally, like for real, this happened for real. Like I was in a store, it's called like Food Time or whatever, and I was on the chip aisle. And this guy walked all the way around and came back around. He was like, hey, how you doing? Like I couldn't even get nothing out. He was like, hey, how you doing? My name is so-and-so, so-and-so. He was like, I stay over. He said the name of whatever he wrote, whatever it was, where he stayed. He was like, where you stay? Still, nothing came out. And then he went into, you should let me come over sometime. What?
Oh, that's how they doing it? Okay.
That's not the first time that has happened here in Houston. I don't date. Like, no, you're not coming over my house. No, you're not gonna know where I stay at. No.
And I'm not gonna doubt our fellas at all. We have some pretty good fellas. But when you have these handful of fellas that can make all these good fellas look so bad, the image of one destroys the image of so many. You know, if you got a man and he your man, if you yell at a woman, that can alter the way she sees you. You know, what they do in a woman's world to make her look at you in a certain way. Just a simple yelling at a woman can make that woman look at you in a different light, and she will lose respect for you. No matter if I stick with you, she can still be there, but mentally she's not there. Physically, she might stick around a little longer, but mentally she gone. Men don't see that. A lot of men, I watch men mishandle their women to the utmost disrespect. In front of their guys. Bitch this, bitch that. You think that woman gonna respect you? She fears you, if anything, but she don't respect you. And a lot of men think pumping fear is gonna get it. No, she gonna eventually see another man behind your back. Ain't no woman gonna just stick around you if you're pumping fear to keep her.
That's verbal abuse. Like, I'm not a part of that tribe. I don't know them.
I was thinking that earlier. I literally was thinking that when
I agree.
I was off. I was like, that's like one of the worst things that you can do is make me lose respect for you. That's literally one of as like that's one of the worst things you can ever do.
Women are not built like men. They're not sturdy. They are mentally strong, but physically they're not. So the least little, fear factor puts a woman mind in a different angle. Now she's contemplating how she can just leave you. You got to be tactful with women. I remember it was a story in the new. It was in Chicago. A young woman and a young man got into an altercation. They argued. The man storms out saying that effing baby ain't mine. Now you would think, if even though the man say it ain't his, as a woman it's yours, you had it. But that mental state of a woman is so fragile that she put her baby in the microwave, all because that man said what he said. That's how fragile a woman is versus to a man. Cannot be mishandled. But men quick to mishandle women as if they are
put the baby in the
like
microwave.
nothing.
Oh, something was wrong with her before that. She was crazy before that.
You
Let a man do that. She was already crazy. Hell no.
have to be
Nothing wrong with her.
Yeah.
Hey, ain't no way in the world no woman gonna put a baby in the microwave.
That's
Something
what she did.
already wrong with her.
One baby in the microwave just on the state because he walked away and said that baby is his and
Flo,
he didn't want baby.
you gonna get us demonetized, Flo.
Women have these kids to hold on to that man.
Flo,
Not
you gonna
even wanting that child, but they have these kids to hold on to these men.
Flo, you gonna get us demonetized. You know, I told you YouTube be on. They don't be playing. We can't be talking about microwaving.
Oh, wow.
We can't do that, Flo.
I did it. I did. It's just saying how weak, how mental a woman can be that she would take it that far.
She was crazy before that, man. She was already crazy.
It was a sad thing. Like, it was so sad. But just because he didn't want that baby, she no longer wanted it either,
That wasn't cousin no man. She was already crazy. She was crazy way before she had a baby.
Yeah.
She been crazy. Don't know normal women do that.
There's some women out here. Women are very fragile. That's what I was trying to say. And when you dealing with a woman, you got to be mindful that they're not built the way a man is built, and they cannot be handled the way they think. You know how many men abuse their woman every day? They come in front of you guys and they sit, they play their games, they watch TV, and they look stable. But when they go home, different boat.
Yeah, but here's
what's the percentage of men who abuse their woman? What's the
I don't know the percentage, but I know it's up there. A lot of them do it, and they do it behind the door.
The reported cases are somewhere around that. I'm saying reported cases. They're somewhere around, I think, 27-30%.
But I would almost guarantee.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second, Flo. That report some kind of abuse. We did that whole stream on DV. We can't say the words because YouTube would snatch us down. But we did that whole stream on DV, and they blocked the whole stream because I used the whole words on it. But it's around 27 to 30% for women. They don't know the percentage for men because men don't report it.
Yeah.
Nobody cares if a
and
man
women abuse men too. Yes, they do.
So men don't report it. But so overall, today's conversation, you guys felt good about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
Always educational, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Always enlightening.
Huh?
Always enlightening.
Yeah, it was all. Yeah, I was like, man. I kept saying
I love the different perspectives.
Yeah, I try to present these. I try to put a different spin on some of the conversations, especially since right now we're focused on men-centric stuff, and we're going to be pivoting with the men-centric stuff to more so how do we build good men. So we're gonna be pivoting on there, and we also going to get into black male politics as well.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. I'm actually working on. I'm trying to get two people black conservatives, whatever. Because let me tell you something, and I kind of mentioned this. I did this stream called Queen Mother, and I actually talked about what happened down in Georgia with Stacey Abrams and the fact that she lost a large percentage of the black man vote. A lot of people don't understand that. As much as we didn't like the orange dude, he got more black men vote than any other Republican ever. And instead of knocking those brothers that did that, you got to start asking the question, why are black men turning away from certain power structures and going someplace else? So we're gonna get into that too and how that affects as well. So yeah, I can't wait to do that whole discussion. That's gonna be good.
Boy, you and these topics.
Yeah, give me these topics. All right, guys. It's like 9-something. We've been on for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Let's wrap it up. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat some burgers and stuff. I appreciate you, everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah. All right.
I appreciate you calling me young too. I felt good about that.
Tyrone, I want you to hang back for a minute, but everybody else, I'll see you guys next time.